Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is called Hustle and Motivate by Nate. And this is going to be called the Chronicle stories. There's going to be multiple stories that I'm going to get into throughout time. But this in particular story is how this whole thing started from the foundation. I was about 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. My uncle had bought an incline bench. So, incline bench is positioned in this position. So, you do that kind of motion and all, for those who don't know. So it was a plate of 25 on each side, one on each side. And my uncle had about four of his friends, and I was asking him, listen, can I get in? And he looked at me like I was a little kid. They're teenagers, I was 8 years old. So he looking at me like, get out of here, man. Beat it. And he wouldn't let me get in, wouldn't let me and I'm about 6-7 years younger than all of them, and I was capable of picking it up. So anyway, after they all left, I lay down, I'll get down on the ball, I start picking it up. I'm doing the set like nothing. I was like, these big ass guys over here can't even pick this up. Wrong move. What ends up happening, my arms gave out. I was up in the middle, so as I'm up, just picture, came down and landed right on my throat. So the ball is literally 50 pounds, right? So it's two plates, a plate of 25 on each side, choking me out. Must have been turned blue in the face. And with the grace of God, my uncle forgot something. Coming back into the crib, he sees that I'm about to pass out or whatever. He hooks it onto the bench. I get up, grasping for air. I was a little kid, and he yelled at me, scored me, flipped out, really flipped out. And he was, he told me, if you really want to start working out, I suggest you do boxing. So he gave me these 2 5-pound little dumbbell weights. So I would box in front of a mirror every day. So I would just have speed. And then I just had this passion, this love for boxing. And I wanted to be a boxer growing up. As a kid, that was my first dream, was to be a boxer. And they didn't let me do that either. But I really grew fond with working out. I really fell in love with working out. I wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Barbarian, for example. If you look up that movie, Conan the Barbarian, that's what I wanted to look like. And they used to tell me I would never look like that. You ain't got it. You don't eat, whatever. So I ended up, time went on, I would do a lot of calisthenics, pull-ups, push-ups, Time goes on, come fast forward to today, 15 years in the making. What you see in front of this camera, with the shape, the size, no one taught me, no one showed me, no one guided me, no one helped me, nobody taught me what to eat, how to. Everything you see is me, self-made. This is me, and I hustled my way. The first 5 years of working out was a total failure. I was trying to figure out what works, what didn't work. I just was basically getting the chisel cut look, real cut up, abbed out, just little cuts. Wasn't nothing real serious, it wasn't nothing big. And eventually started to really grow. When I really started to grow was around the 8th year, 9th. I started getting a little size. So I started feeling like a little, in the gym, you get starting, you're starting to notice a little size. You start to act a little different. Believe me, you walk different. Your confidence level is because you know what you're capable of. You know what you're capable of doing. You know what you can handle. And in the gym, there was this rule. On the right side was the rookies and the beginners. On the left side was the professionals and the heavyweight lifters. So it was 2 sides of where all the benches went straight across, but it was only for the dumbbell section. And for the dumbbell section, I used to take the big heavyweights and drag them all the way to the beginners section. So I broke this rule we had back in Brooklyn. It's called Richie's Gym. For those who know Richie's Gym, I miss my gym right now. You know, I'm sick. I was in that gym for 13 years, and that's where I learned everything that I learned. Was that gym? That gym was home to me, and every day after work, you know, it's like therapy. It's like, you know, once you start working out, this becomes an addiction, and addiction becomes an obsession. From the obsession, it becomes your lifestyle. So this is not something that you just get up and decide to do tomorrow, or I'm gonna be a gym head. This gotta be running in your blood, in your veins. For example, the story I just told you was as a little kid. Anybody else, they will never look or touch weights ever again. That, what it did to me, it burned the passion in me. It burned the desire, like I wanted to work out. Like that just turned me on even more. You know, some people look at me and think I'm sick, crazy. It's not. It's something that's already built. It's wired in me. What's wired in me, you can't take away from me. So whatever's built inside of you, no one can ever take away from you. So that's something that, you know, I got to practice what I preach as well. And I'm trying to be an example for my daughter. You know, my daughter's a big inspiration in a lot of ways, because when I started getting some size, it was because of her, I think. Because, excuse me, I wanted my size to define superhero. My dad looks like a superhero. I didn't want her to look up to Wonder Woman, Catwoman. For example, the males, it would be Superman, Batman, Spider. No. When she looks at her, she got her own personal superhero. It would be me, her dad. And that's my motivation. That's what keeps me, you know what? I want my daughter to, when she walks around, her friends see her dad, be like, well, your dad kind of big, man. You know, and they give her that respect because of me. And not only that, but that's to show, I make these videos to show her in her own future to be someone that she's going to be impacting, someone that's going to motivate, someone that's going to do something and be successful in her own future in whatever field she decides to go in, because I'm not going to be trying to be dictating to her what she should do. I don't think that's correct. I think kids should have a choice and pursue what they're passionate about, what they love to do, what comes naturally to them, because that's where your passion is at. It's where your purpose is found. So I just want to be an example for my daughter that I'm doing this. She's one of my biggest motivations, man. You know, and hopefully I become a great example for her, and it'll be impacting for her own future, for her own life. She could always, God forbid anything ever happens to me, she can come back to this video and say, my dad always thought about me. I might not treat her the best way, which messed up on my part as a dad. I give her that tough love. You know, that's what I grew up with. I don't know nothing else, because I didn't have my moms around. My mom lived on the other side of the world. My mom lives in Cali. I'm in Brooklyn. And I was taught that tough love, you know what I'm saying? As long as you have thick skin in this city, you'll be all right. And I guess that's where it comes from.